question that we didn't get to, though, in part one, and that is, as a parent, when do I decide to have these conversations? Like, what's the thought around the right time and the right space to invite my child into a conversation? Do you have thoughts about that?
I think timing and environment play a major role in the effectiveness of us actually trying to have hard conversations. Yeah,
Mhm.
our disposition and our heart space and what we bring into the room, it plays a major part. We talked about that last time, but I think where we have this conversation is so important is out on the front lawn tossing a baseball or driving in the car to Dairy Queen to get an ice cream or pup cup for the dog. Like, is that the right
Mhm.
environment? Is sitting on the end of the bed and not looking eye to eye with our kid, but just sitting there and just being at peace while they're laying on their bed crying in their pillow. Is that the right place to have the conversation? I think you have to experiment. You have to know your kid and what they need in that moment. And sometimes that's difficult to do. But I think that trying to find the right environment and the right time, not finding the right environment or the right time paralyze you, but finding
Mhm.
that in the right time to have the right conversation is super, super important. And so
Mhm.
I think that sometimes when we're not sitting at the dinner table looking at each other face to face, I think oftentimes that's the wrong environment to have the conversation in. But I think finding that right environment for you and for your kid is really important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even with your body, like most of us are, bigger than our kids, they do a lot of times surpass us as they get older. But just remembering that like fight flight response in our child, if we're having a conversation with our kid and we're standing over them or our voice is louder than them, their little bodies are going to feel threatened. And that's going to take away the opportunity to have that really sweet, intentional teaching, opportunity and asking questions and them feeling safe answering
Mhm.
the questions. Another sweet thing in play therapy, the ball, when kids play with the ball, it represents relationship. And so a really cool thing when you're playing catch with your kid is what you're actually communicating to your child is like, here's this thing, it's our relationship or whatever, that ball, and I'm going to throw it to you. I'm throwing it to you and you get to decide what you're going to do with it. And most of the time, right, the kid tries to catch it. So they catch it and then you're looking at them and you're going, hey, I'm here. Like I'm here on the other side. I've got eyes here. I've got eyes on you and I'm ready to catch whatever you throw at me. I got it. So that's a really beautiful physical representation of what we want with our kids in having, the hard conversations and asking the question of I'm here, I'm available, my eyes are on you, and I'm gonna catch whatever you throw my way. And then I'm gonna take and I'm gonna throw something back at you. And then you get to receive it. And so I think
Mhm.
sometimes when you're playing catch and you're having conversations, it can be a really cool thing because your body's actually experiencing what you're wanting, to have with your kid in those moments. Yeah.
I love that. I remember as my kids started getting, older, maybe 7, 8 even is when I started it. It was, hey, I want to talk about this thing. So in a couple of hours, can we meet by the fireplace? Grab your favorite blanket. And we would
Yeah.
like snuggle up, not necessarily together, depending on the conversation,
Yeah.
but we'd have our blankets and be by the fire. And that was a good space. I would also just add to this, you want to choose a time when your child's energy level is at a place where they can receive the conversation, that the mood in the house has been lighthearted for some time.
Yeah.
And so that you're really picking a time where you know your child's at their best to
Yeah.
be able to have a good conversation with you.